G'day, Steeler Nation. Welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia. So for the past 10, 25 minutes or so, I've been looking around the news, trying to think about what can I talk about today, being my Wednesday, your Tuesday in America. What can I talk about? And I looked into a few ideas. Do we discuss more things about Trubisky? Do we discuss more things about firing Mike Tomlin? Do we discuss what the offense needs to do? Right? No matter what angle you go on, this direction, that direction, I started to think I'm going to watch anyway. Right? We're at the point of the season where I was even thinking about bringing up some visuals and some ideas about comparing the 2005 team where they went on a 4-game run to get into the playoffs for the bus. They went all the way to the Super Bowl and won it for Jerome Bettis, in his hometown, Detroit. I was like, can we do that comparison? Now, that's kind of different because Big Ben, of course, is so much more talented than Trubisky. I do want to have that kind of story, fairy tale ending, but you just can't see that with this team right now. There's been 2 bad losses. The season's not done yet, but I still think no matter what happens, we're going to watch anyway. Regardless of what does happen, who's out in the field, if it is Trubisky or Rudolph, or if it's Trace McSorley, us Steelers fans are going to watch anyway. And whatever happens, right? And here's the point where I think it is really frustrating. They lost 2 in a row. They lost Kenny Pickett. Now, you can compare Kenny Pickett and Trubisky, those 2 together. But the fact is, the team, in my opinion, actually, the team was playing better with Kenny Pickett than they were with Trubisky. So you go and lose 2 games. We don't know what to expect for the next 4 games. They could go out there and lay an absolute duck egg. I mean, duck egg where they lose every single game, and it's going to be Mike Tomlin's first losing season. If they lose the next 4, they'll go 7 and 10. 7 and 6 right now. I'll go 7 and 10, and the season's done. Or they could do the flip side, go on a bit of run and win 3 out of 4 or 4 games in a row. Because, look, let's be honest. This Colts game is a very winnable game. They've got Minshew. We've got Trubisky. They're missing their, running back for most of the year, right? I'm not saying the Colts are a crazy, awesome, good team, but they're missing some players, especially their quarterback. Went down early in the season. They're 7 and 6, trying to, keep their foot in the door for the playoffs. And the Steelers are trying to also do the same thing. If the Steelers lose this game, I believe they jump back out of the playoffs. They're 1 game behind. So it's must-win mentality right now from this point, right? I'll say one thing. Actually, I'm saying quite a few things. There was one thing I saw on the Twitter. I was like, fans already are going out there looking at the draft. I don't know how you do that. I legit have no idea why fans want to kick away the 4 more games left. 4 more games of Sunday football. And for me, it's on my Sunday, your Saturday, with the Colts game, the Bengals game, back-to-back Saturdays. For me, that's my Sunday football. Why would you want to kick away those next games? I don't understand it. The draft, dead set, I won't talk the draft till probably March. Maybe March 1st. That would be my official first official video talking the draft. Now, I'm not a draft guy, but I do my best to look into prospects, and I do my best to look into Steelers needs and stuff like that. And one thing on the draft, the Steelers need to look at some center options, maybe a right tackle and move Jones to the left, stuff like that. But looking right now to say, okay, the Steelers are going to draft this player at number 13 or 14 is absolute nonsense. If you like that stuff, fair enough. To me, not a huge fan at looking at the draft with almost about a week to go before Christmas. Makes no sense to me. But like I said in the title of my video, and look, I was going to go on different tangents about talking about this guy and that guy. It doesn't matter. Whatever happens is, however the Steelers roll, real Steelers fans out there are going to watch anyway. And this week, we have to watch Trubisky again, which is going to be I don't feel too comfortable watching Trubisky. All we can hope is a guy doesn't turn the football over. And all we can hope is that the Steelers can move the ball down the field, because they didn't move the ball down the field last week until about around the second half. They got a pass to DJ. Yeah, in the second half as well, you saw that pass to DJ into the end zone was fantastic, but they couldn't score 14 points in 11 minutes, right? So that's what I mean. Like, I was looking around all these stories. I know that TJ Watt's coming back off his concussion. I think Highsmith's coming back off his concussion too. I know that the fellas on the run game have to stand up, but we've been saying these things throughout. I understand now people too will probably check out and, you know what, I don't really care. I have zero expectations, and that's fine. That's all cool. That's gravy, man. It's all good. If you wanna say, you know what, I'm taking the season off. I can't handle it anymore. I'll come back next year. That's perfectly fine. But for me, this is like must-win mentality for the Colts. You have to beat the Colts. If you don't beat the Colts and you're like behind the eight ball again, and then you'd have to like beat 3 teams in a row to then have some things work out in the playoff scenarios to where you might have a chance. Now, some fans may say, well, what's a point mark? Well, what is the overall point mark that if we go to the playoffs, we're going to get busted? We're going to we're going to lose. The point is the will to win, right? Anything I do in my life, I always want to try and be the best that I can be and excel to be even further than that. So for the team, for me cheering the team on, I want to see them do the best, even if they're not the most talented or even if they aren't coached the right way. I still want them to see them do the best that they can. And that is, to me, is by winning all the games and having a chance to go to the playoffs. And if that is Steelers versus Jags or Steelers versus Chiefs, in this like playoff scenario too, when you look at it right now, Baltimore's up there 10-3. The Colts, they can be beatable as we play them this week. Cleveland Browns, we beat them 1-1. Miami, as you saw yesterday, the Titans beat them. So could we beat them? Could be a possibility. KC, they've been on a losing streak. I think 2 in a row they've lost. And Jacksonville Jaguars, they look beatable too, 8-5. So this thing is very wide open. And also a lot of the AFC quarterbacks are all going down. Joe Flacco's now leading the Browns. Herbert with the Chargers, he's out, right? The Jets have theirs. Zach Wilson, they reckon that Rodgers might come back. So there are things happening where if the Steelers just had a bit of a run and fixed some offensive issues and their defense played lights out like we know they can, by getting turnovers and by forcing the pass rush and getting the quarterback to step up and get sacked by TJ and Cam and Keanu Benton now, I think he's been named the starter, then things might be able to move into peace where you play enough games to win 3 out of 4. That's what I'm hoping, 3 out of 4. Put yourself in the wild card. Kenny comes back. If he's healthy, have Kenny at least there to be more mobile than Mitch and have Kenny maybe not turn the ball over as much as Mitch does. Then you have some things moving, right? But like I said, and to end the video, I know it's been a bit of a ramble, and if I do, if you guys like the ramble, let me know. If you're not a fan, that's cool too. But I just wanted to go on a bit of a Steelers ramble because whatever happens, we're going to watch. Let's be honest, we're Steelers fans. Whatever happens, no matter what, if they're 1-13, if they're 13-0, it doesn't matter. We want to see our team be victorious, as that's what we want to do. So you can follow. If you don't like Trubisky, you're probably going to watch. If you don't like the coaching staff, you're probably going to watch, right? We've been Steelers fans. Some of us have been Steelers fans since the 1970s. I've been a Steelers fan since 2002, right? That's what we do. Football's around, 4 games to go. We've got to enjoy them. Anyways, guys, that's kind of my bit of a ramble, and I hope you guys enjoy that for the 9 minutes that I went on. And then we'll see what happens next few days. Not too much news going on, really. TJ's coming back, Alex coming back, but it's kind of like the Steelers have that bad taste in their mouth with a really awful 2 losses. And from that point, the only way to fix that is to beat the Colts. That's the only way to fix that is beat the Colts, improve to 8-6, and start to check some wins off and get into the playoffs, and then we'll talk about that. All right, guys, I'll see you later.